We have Mr. Christopher Partlow with us. Chris is a great agent with us here at Senior Life Services. He's been with us for 9 months now, and he has qualified for just about every bonus possible. Our President's Club trip, where he's done over $150,000 of ultimate premium in in a year. It'll be an ultimate premium means like it's on the book, it's on the books. So nothing's fallen off, which is pretty impressive. So you probably have pretty good business quality, probably pretty good at retaining clients and retaining people and getting people to like you. So I consider Chris a very successful agent here in his first year. So what we're going to do today is we're going to ask Chris some of his secrets. We're going to learn what his secret sauce is and what he's done to be successful here. So without further ado, I'm gonna open it up to Chris. So Chris, first off, how did you get into insurance?
Well, I was in a field. It was hearing aids, and I didn't see any growth. I didn't see anything past what the day to day was. So I was like, "There's got to be something better." So I got into insurance with mortgage protection, and there was a couple of good hits there, but it wasn't consistent enough, and there was no one really there to help me, get off the ground, but I knew there was something better. So I've been in insurance for about a year and a half now, and the first 7, 8 months was pretty tough. It really was. But I knew there was a lot of people making really good money. There's retirement, there's residuals, and there's a future in insurance where there wasn't where I was. So I decided to take that leap and go into it 100% full time.
I love that, dude. And that's huge. I feel like um, new agents all the time, and we're going to have a lot of new agents watching this. So new agents, it's like it's the type of thing where you can't put like one foot in the water to be successful. And I know a lot of people's hearts in the right place where they're like, I want to do my part-time till it equals my full-time
Yeah.
income and then make that full-time. Their heart's in the right place, but that's just not the way that you go about doing it. You got to go all in. So good job. What was like what caused you to do that? Like what was like the because a lot of times it's like an emotional decision. There must have been some emotional tie behind it. So was there something that kick-started you into that or?
Well, I 12 years with that other company, I was making the same on year 3 as I was year 12. And the last couple of years before I left was like, I've got to do something. I've got to find something better. So I was on the prowl looking for this, looking for that, and I stumbled across the insurance is like, you know what? I can do this. I can sell a couple. And like you said, dabbling a little bit here. So I sold a policy. I sold a policy over a couple of months, but I was still working full time. I was like, I talked to somebody who's like, you can make $100,000 or more in this industry if you work hard. I'm like, well, I need to do that. So I bit the bullet and jumped sadly head first, and it was a little tough at the beginning, that's for sure. But once I found SLS, it's actually gotten a whole lot easier. Consistency and just having people there to really help me through the process is really made my income, my business tenfold over what I was doing on my own.
Awesome. That's so cool. What really stuck out to me there, dude? You said 12 years
Yep,
at a job.
yep.
Like this is for anybody too who's looking to grow an agency at some point. When you see a resume and someone's been at a place for 12 years, hire that person because it shows that they stick. No, bro, I'm telling you, when you get into hiring, you're going to see this. If you ever get into management and want to build a team, you're going to see this. What you're going to see is people have 12 jobs in 1 year, or
Right.
like if 5 jobs in the last 5 years, what that usually means is they're going to have 5 more in the next 5 years. So what you're a true believer. You step into something and you believe that you can accomplish in it and that you believe in what you're doing and you believe in yourself because it takes a high level of self-confidence to just push at the same thing for 12 years. So dude, like I would take someone, you're very skilled at this, but skill aside, I'd rather take someone who starting from the bottom and has to develop their skill, but has worked somewhere for 12 years than someone who's a rock star, but can't can't figure this stuff out. So that's huge, bro. Like where I mean, do you have kids? Is there like a commitment that came from that, or was it
Oh
just
yeah.
like good work
I-
ethic?
I've got three kids and
Okay.
12, or I'm sorry, 14, 16, and 18, and they're expensive, and so you can't just like, I'll do a little bit here, do a little bit there. It's like I'm coming in, I'm grinding, and I'm just doing my job, and that's just what I do.
Awesome, dude. I love that. That's huge. What do you do for fun? What do you like to do outside of insurance? I mean, insurance kind of sucks, so it's like
It's not the funnest thing, but I'll tell you what, when you get to help somebody
yeah,
and change their family tree, the way I look at it is if I help this person with a life insurance policy, that means their kids will have a better life than they did.
yeah.
And so, I look at that and go, how many people can I help today? But
I
when
love
I'm
that.
off, I'm off. Like I am, you can't catch me in the office because I'm usually out on a motorcycle.
Oh, wow,
I'm
man.
out on a kayak. I'm outdoors doing something. I just got to have, that complete decompression, move away. And then that way, when I'm back in the office Monday morning, 9 o'clock, I am ready to go and I'm here committed full time.
Cool, man. You ride a motorcycle to work?
I do sometimes. I do
That's cool.
sometimes. Yeah, it's not the same attire, that I normally wear, but I do wear I do wear some clothes, safety first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But I do ride the
I hope you
motorcycle
wear
into the
some
office sometimes.
clothes.
I'm in flip-flops,
Yeah.
it's usual stuff.
Tank top, boxer briefs,
Something like
sandals.
that. Yep. Yep.
That's funny. Yeah, you probably said that so your kids watch this at some point in the future. They'll be like, "Dad, you were. What do you mean you weren't
I'm
wearing your
safe, I
protective
promise.
gear?"
I'm
Yeah.
safe.
Cool, man. That's cool. I love the outdoor stuff too, man. Like to keep it outside, and it's good that you can break that connection because it's you got to make sure that you take care of yourself too because there's more to life than
Than
just
work.
this.
That yeah,
Yeah,
than anything. I mean, if you put all your life into something and you don't have an outside distraction or an outside focus, all this is work. It'll become your life, and it's not going to be one of those long-term things because you'll grind yourself out.
yeah, dude, for sure. Grind the people in your life out of it, which
Yep.
which can happen. So next thing here is what do you feel like? Um, if there's one thing that you can attribute to your success as an insurance agent, and you don't have to say it from the standpoint of us working, in the same organization, you can say, and you can be selfish too. There's no, I mean, talking about accomplishments, I don't think is bragging. I think the world has brainwashed people into thinking that talking about their own successes is a bad thing, so that they can settle for less. But if you can attribute your success, brother, to one thing, I would attribute it towards your commitment and persistence. What
Right.
would you attribute your success for in the industry as a new agent getting started? Because most people watching this aren't going to be with SLS. They're going to be at home grinding, independent, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah. So what would you, if someone's in that situation, what do you think what's your advice to them? Like one thing that helps you be successful.
Consistency.
Okay.
Whether it's I'm going to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to work until 5 o'clock, whether you're at home, whether you're in an office somewhere, you can maintain consistency while you're working. I got into that a little bit before I came to SLS, before I had the training that you guys offered. I would make a couple of phone calls. I would do some dishes. I would clean a little bit and make a couple of phone calls. And I mean, if you're not willing to separate a part of your house and say, look, this is my office, this is where I work, and treat it like an actual 9 to 5 job, or whatever hours you choose, when you're there, you're grinding. You're there making phone calls. You're there trying to help people because insurance isn't one of those things where they call you and say, you know what, I was thinking about life insurance today. You know what, I'm so glad I got a hold of you. No, it's you've got to reach out to them. They've put it out for so long
Yeah.
that they'll put it off and put it off and put it off as long as possible, and you need to get to them so that you can help protect them.
100%. That's awesome, bro. I love that.
Yeah.
Love your standpoint on that. So, um, about how many calls a day do you think you make?
Well, I do track my calls every day, and depending on good conversations, I usually anywhere between 80 calls to 120 calls, and that gives me enough talk time. I average anywhere between $1,000 $1,500 a day. If I'm here in the office, I consistently make those calls and I get good conversations, which means I'm in a good mood. I'm not, in my own head because they can sense that when you're on the phone. And if you can be happy and really just trying to help them, then you'll have those conversations and you'll make your money.
Awesome, man. No, that's cool. So do you have like a specific target that you shoot for? Do you shoot for production, activity, or production talk time or dials? Like when you sit down, you're like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like if you do this, you'll consider yourself having worked a day.
Well, I come in and I look at it as this is my block of time that I'm spending for work. So I have my outside, my personal stuff, and I know that like Monday, Tuesday, I'm here. I work from 9 a.m. and I'm in my chair making phone calls, eat lunch back in the chair making phone calls. And if I do that, I'm going to hit my numbers just by being here and consistently being on the phone. And those numbers are, if I'm having a bad day with phone conversations, I'll look at those numbers and say, okay, well, the talk time isn't there. I'm going to shoot for the phone, the dials. So I'll hit 120 to 150 dials. If the talk time's there, then I really am averaging between 70 and 80 dials.
Okay,
But I know
gotcha.
I'm here between 9 a.m. every day to 6, 7 at night, with some breaks here and there. And I know if I do that, my job is done.
Yeah, so you're working like nine to 10 hours a day about.
Well, I mean, sometimes I'm out at 4, sometimes I'm out at 6, sometimes out, but I have that schedule blocked
Yeah, but
out.
you're consistent with it
Right,
pretty much is what I'm saying. Like,
right.
it's okay, cool. So you go to work and you go to work. And when I was at home, I could separate that. I just get so obsessed with what I'm doing that it's like I just everything
Right.
else kind of
Everything's
gets
gone.
out.
Yep.
Everything's gone. And a lot of people have a struggle with that. So it's good that you go to the office so that you can have that be your workspace. Now, when you say 100 dials, is that 100 contacts through the CRM, or is that
Yes.
one, or do you? Okay, so it ends up being probably a couple hundred actual clicks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I double
Okay.
dial every single person and through the vanilla soft that we do have, it makes it so much easier. I remember hand dialing doot 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 doot,
Yeah.
So now everything is through the system. It makes life a whole lot easier.
Awesome. Cool. Sweet. Cool, man. Love that because that's a big thing. I think people jumping into the industry underestimate the amount of effort that it's going to take. Right? I did when I started. I know
Yeah.
that. It was like I got into a fully underwritten company, and they're
Oh,
like, leads. We don't have leads. Your
yeah.
leads are open your phone, uh, knock on businesses' doors,
Door
and
to door.
there were guys who made a ton of money doing it. Like I'm not knocking it. I just didn't properly estimate the amount of effort that would have required from me to like
Hmm.
make it happen. So it's cool that like what I love about what you're saying here is you estimate the effort. You're like, I got to do this every day. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen, and I come in and do it no matter what. And you're Mr. Consistent. I mean, you got almost 5,000 AP of the week. It's Wednesday, and and then the cool thing too, you can always throw it on a Saturday if you wanted to hit some
Right.
targets there.
And if it is, a short week or a slow week, and I just know that I can always hit that Saturday and Sunday, and my income is based on how much I want to work instead of how much somebody wants to pay me for doing the same exact thing. So I'm in
Ex-
control.
And the thing is, you want to work, right? That's why you do
I
well,
do.
because like you want to work. Now, what does work get you? Do you feel like work earns you that time on the motorcycle and the other stuff? Like if you have a bad week, do you feel like because everyone has slow weeks sometimes, right? I mean, it's
Sure.
insurance. So if you have a slow week, have you ever like on the weekend do you ever like feel guilty? Like it's like, dude, like I didn't earn like what does the work get you? You know what I mean? Like what?
Well, if I'm having a bad week and you have to cut that off and say, look, it was a bad week, but Monday is a new week, and you're starting fresh. You have to like forget about things. You have to have amnesia in any type of sales industry. So whether you're selling hearing aids or advertisement, I've done both. If I had a bad week, it's just we're going to cut it and we're going to start fresh and we're going to go in with the attitude that this week we're going to make it happen. In fact,
Got it.
we're going to make it up for last week a little bit too. So we may work a little extra hard.
Okay, cool, man. I love that perspective there. Um, what are your goals? For what are some of your goals for the next year that we have coming up?
Well, this year my goal was to be President's Club. So I hit that and exceeded
What does that
that.
mean? Just so that you can clarify that for other people here. I
So
know I cut touched it a little bit before, but they may
yeah.
not remember.
Yeah, well, the designation of President's Club is like being the top of your industry within that certain group. And that means a lot to me because I don't come on here to be the bottom of the barrel, middle way. I'm here to be at the upper top. I always want to be top 10% of anywhere I go. And so that means a lot to me to be President's Club, especially after starting 3 months behind and still making more than enough as if I would have been here the full year. So that
That's
really,
awesome.
and so the next year, of course, we're going to remain President's Club, but I also want to help 4 to 6 people get their business started and help them get to that level where they're now qualified for a trip. Because I've never been on a trip before in my life. 12 years, no trips, no nothing. And now you're telling me I can go to Mexico for free and you'll pay for it and unlimited food. Yeah, I'm in. Sign me
Is
up.
that what that's what President, just so that people know, what does President's Club get you other than the status and the clout? There
There's
are
some
some
perks.
material things too. So unfortunately I don't have my ring on it. The one day I don't wear it, it's at home. I took
Yes.
it off the shower and but you get a cool ring. Chris
Yep.
is getting his, and then I'll get a diamond in mine, I think. So what else what else comes with that, bro?
Well, an all expenses paid trip to Mexico. We're going to be,
What?
yeah,
You
I
mean you
know,
don't gotta
right?
pay for everything? I mean anything?
Everything, anything and everything. All the
God,
spas, all the food, the trip, the
jeez, man.
airfare, the hotel, right on the beach, and I've never been, So they're like, we're going to give you a trip. I'm like, okay, sign me up twice.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. And you can bring a spouse, so I'm looking forward to that vacation with a special someone. So I'm definitely happy about that.
Okay, awesome, man. I'm excited to see you there. You're gonna get the plunge pool that's talked about so much, which I don't even know what it is. I guess it's like a little pool on the balcony or something. I probably
You
don't
got
fit in
your
it,
own little
so
jacuzzi pool. So I
yeah,
mean, what happens in Mexico stays in Mexico. But
that's
seriously.
right. What happens in the plunge pool stays, please, I do not want to know what goes on in
No,
the
we're not
plunge
sharing.
pool, Chris. Don't share that with me. What now, right now, bro? What's the biggest challenge you face in this? And I'll share mine after. So it's all
Yeah,
on the table here. What's the biggest challenge you face right now?
not getting into my own head, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do what we do.
Oh,
It's
it's
rewarding.
a grind.
Yeah, and it is a grind. And if you let that in your head and you come in and you're worried and you're fearful and you're concerned and you just can't. You just got to come in and just like, look, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to hop on the phones. I'm going to help a couple people today. And if you can't focus, you can't focus on yesterday was a bad day. I had
Hmm.
no sales yesterday. I came in and wrote 2,000 a day. So I
Jeez.
made up for yesterday's performance because I came in today knowing that I need and I can't let what happened yesterday affect my today.
That's right, man. Because you know what? If you do, this isn't gonna be. I feel like this is gonna be Chris at the pool from being Mr. Consistent right here. This is Chris in Mexico. He's just like,
How did you
right?
know? That I have the
This
same
is Chris.
necklace. Yes,
I
100%.
thought you do. I thought you do. And I mean, you got to get the matching,
Oh, yep.
right? Cool.
Yep.
So
It's all about consistency.
that's right. It's all about consistency. Cool, man. So yeah, because I'll share mine. My biggest challenge is finding people like you that'll
Okay.
work consistently. and you're going to see as you go through people, because this is the thing. This is what I've learned. Everyone can have a good week in insurance. It's not hard for someone to make sales, right? It's like
Right.
if you call for a few days, especially when someone starts here at SLS, like there's so much assistance. It's almost like cheating. You know what I mean? It's like here we're gonna get you some stuff. So we not cheating, but you know that from you having started by yourself, like independent, you know that there's a big difference,
Oh
right?
yeah. Well, when
So
you have a $2,000 lead bill every week,
yeah,
to not having a lead bill at all, yeah, I'm in heaven. Just yeah.
yeah, exactly. And having the good weeks, people have good weeks. But the biggest thing I've seen is not if you can have a good week, it's can you survive the tough weeks,
Right.
right? So I've seen that that's like the biggest thing for insurance with new people. So my one of my challenges, and I take responsibility because when everybody leaves, I say they fired me as a leader. But one of my challenges is, hey, it's not, hey, can I get this person having a good week? Because I've helped people have good weeks. It's hey, can I get it so that they can maintain some of the tough weeks? And what I've seen is the people who do the best in this industry, at least on in my team, Vicky, Lexi, Griffin, Brian, Zach, um, that have those are the veterans. I have some new agents that are doing great. They were the ones who survived the tough times, right?
Right.
Like Griffin didn't make a sale for 11 days when he started, like 11 business days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's great. Brian, when he started with me, he didn't make a sale for like 2 weeks. I told Brian's like, dude, can I have a salary? I'm like, oh, how about this? One more week, and then if you don't want to do it, I'll pay you $500 a week. This was before we were with SLS. Then he had one good week. He's like, I don't want it,
Nope.
So,
Done.
so that's a thing. It's like, hey, who can get through the tough weeks? Not necessarily who can have a great week there. So, okay, so treat it like what's like a sales tip? Like what do you feel like a strong point is for you on the presentation? Like when you're in a sale?
Uh, Being assumptive. When you
Okay, cool.
call somebody, like, I know you're busy, that's fine, don't worry about it, I'll be super quick with you. Or I already have insurance, that's great, most of my clients already do. Let me help you add some more coverage. Or, I'm not interested right now. I'm like, I understand. It's not, my job is not to get you a policy, it's just to give you the information. So let's
Yep.
go ahead and get into that and just be assumptive and move past that objection that really is just like Grant says, which is one of our, the owners. And, just move past it. It's just a smokescreen.
Cool. So you feel like you're really good at moving past the smoke screens and getting into the because and I know I know you are because there are people who have a lot more dials,
Yeah,
but much less talk time in production. So what I tell new agents, and if you're a new agent watching this, if you have a ton of dials and you don't have that activity, that talk time, then what it is you got to get your greeting down and you got to get the assumptions, like he's saying, and work through those smoke screens in the
sure.
beginning. I
And
think
one of the
that's a
things that I like to use is apologetic at the beginning. Hey, this
me
is
too. I love
Chris.
that.
Sorry it took me so long to get back to you. I know you wanted this a long time ago, but we've been so swamped with all these calls because of COVID. So hey, I just want to get that information out to you. So do you, and then just run right into where I am on the script. Versus, hey, this is Chris. You requested this information. Hey, let's get into it. It
Yeah.
kind of puts people on the back and go, oh, well, he's not a telemarketer. He's not a solicitor. He's really
hmm
here just to help me out.
Yeah, and what you're doing too is you're putting control in the buyer's hands without really putting control in their hands. You know what I mean? Like you get them thinking like, oh, he's just going to talk to me, get me some information, and that when in the back of your head you're like, no, I want you to make sure your family's taken care of, and
Right.
also I got to pay my bills. So, and I want this chain on in Mexico. So just kidding. So it's like it's like I watched a video on it this morning actually in Cardone University. It was like, hey, getting that um, in the beginning, like putting control in their hands without them really having to feel like it. So it's
Right.
awesome. That's huge. A little bit of a on the ball here. What do you say, or off the cuff? Not on the ball, but off the cuff. Like if someone told you in the end, because people are going to run into this. I got to think about it. How do you handle that? Assuming you've done everything else right, and someone's like, I got to think about it. And it's one of those situations where it's like, why do you have to think about it?
Right. I
How do you
totally
handle that?
understand. I'm kind of the same way. I kind of want to mull things over. But let me ask you this. Is it the price? Is it the product? Or do you just not like me? Which one is
Cool.
it? Oh, it's the price. Oh, well, then let's see if we can find a better plan for you that fits your budget. Because I'm not here to take food off the table. I'm just here to make sure your family's protected. So let's see if we can find something that's a little more affordable and get that protection put in place.
Awesome. That's huge. And that's a big part of it because our clients on average probably make like 1,500 a month, right? 1,500, 2,000 a
Yeah.
month, something like that on average. So it's great. It's great that you do that. Now, when you quote, you give like a high option and then give some other ones. Is that kind of how you do it? How do you do it when you quote options? Because new agents are gonna want to know that stuff too from you, a guy
Sure.
who's crushing it. So
Well, I mean, if you're looking at somebody, you can kind of get a gist of where they're at financially in part of the conversation. So, hey, have you done anything over the past couple of weeks? No, I just sit at home and watch television. Well, then you're not going to start out with a $50,000 policy for $300 a
yeah,
month. It's just not going to happen. So,
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
you can do is start out at a 30, 35,000, but you always want to start high and work your way through the middle. Now, if you start out in the middle and work your way to the bottom, they're always going to accept the bottom.
yeah.
So if you start and work your way to the middle and they still, then you go one step down. Is that better? Nope. Okay, one more step down. But if you drop all the way to the bottom, now you got a $5,000 policy for $36 a month. A,
Yeah,
it's not going
exactly.
to protect them. It's not going to help their family. It's not going to change their family tree, and it's not even going to cover their burial. So, hey, I stop at 10,000. Now, if we have to, then we'll figure something else out. Seven with some accident coverage. Now we've got a bundle of 14. Fantastic, $67. And but if I can get somebody with that 12 to $20,000 in coverage, I know their family's going to be protected.
For sure. Totally agree. Cool, man. Awesome. So tip to anybody watching this here is start high, work down, and work from high through the middle, and then work down through it. And you can always lower it. It's kind of hard to tip it up after that.
Right.
And then also too, and if they what we're seeing now too with our e-lead projects is you can always go back and add another policy at some point. So
Sure.
even if you get someone who's like just haggles you down to 40 or 50 bucks a month, you can always follow up with them in 6 months and be like, hey, you want to add this? And in some cases, it may actually benefit you too, man. If someone has a 40 and a 50 instead of one that's like 90, because they
Sure.
cancel the 90, then they're out of a bunch of insurance, and then one. So cool. I like how you handle that, man.
I remember one time I had a client and they talked me all the way down to like a 70, 80, $90 policy, something really not that big. And it was a term policy. So what's your annual income after the fact? He's like $182,000 a year. I'm like, it's like, you totally could have gotten more coverage. And
Yeah.
I dropped all the way to the bottom. And he's like,
Yep.
sure, I'll just take that. So I was like,
Oh
so now
wow.
I start high, and if it's good for them, then I'll help them out. But if we need to lower it down, plus it shows that you've got a lot of different options. You're not just, hey, I got this one option. It's $80 a month. Is that good for you? And they're like, no, that doesn't work for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I like that strategy there. There you got Crystal behind you there. She is the machine. She's the policy machine, queen policy machine, or however you want to call it.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
awesome, dude. Cool. All right. Well, we're about to come to the end of our half hour here. So,
Okay.
any tips or words of advice? And Chris, I really appreciate your time tonight. A guy that I work with on YouTube stuff, he's like, "I'll make him an hour," and I'm like, "It's a long time." So,
That's a long
I'll I'll
time.
have to I'll have to scale up to that.
Yeah, and no one wants to watch insurance stuff for an hour. So, quick half an hour, a couple of points, and I recommend all people, all agents, if they're trying to get into this, do the videos like Justin's video, because even though you're not going to learn everything, but each video will give you one piece of advice, and if you can just take one and one and one, eventually you'll have enough to make this a career and just stick with it. It's hard at the beginning, but just get through that learning curve and it'll pay off. I mean, it already has for me. So, and I've like I
Awesome,
said,
dude.
I've been with this company for 9 months and 6, 7, 8 months before that on my own, and it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. So I'm glad I'm where I'm at.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. And if anybody's interested with working with Chris, just reach out to me, let me know, and I can. He's working on helping some people over the next 12 months get going. So if you're out here, you're motivated, you're trying to improve yourself on YouTube, then you're probably a person that Chris would like to work with. So reach out to me, let me know, if you're if and we can work on getting you guys connected. And hey, you don't even have to. You can just. I'm sure Chris would be more than happy to help answer any questions you may have about insurance. Just he's a great guy, the kindness of his heart, and then I would too. I don't really consider myself as nice of a guy as Chris, but if just kidding. But cool. Hey, thanks, Chris. I appreciate your time tonight, man.
All
And
right. All
yeah,
right. Well, good luck to everybody.
cool, man. All right. So.